Welcome back to my channel, WinterMotors. My name is Sean Winter, your friendly neighborhood outlaw. And today is the 1 year later review or update of my 2011 Triumph America, aka the Rat. If you're a long-time subscriber of this channel, you know that this bike is my daily commuter. I ride it every day, all year round, except for this year because we got a little bit too much snow. There's still snow here, but not on the road, for me to drive all the year around. I've also taken this bike on a road trip around Europe, fully packed with a passenger on the back, and it had no problems carrying me through that. Now, owning this bike for a little bit over a year has had its ups and downs. I went from loving it a lot and then not loving it that much, but then I did all the custom work on it that you saw in the beginning of this video, and I ended up loving this bike so fucking much. I would never get rid of this bike because it's my baby. I know the way this bike looks is not for everyone, it's not everyone's taste, but maybe your motorcycle is not my taste. In my opinion, motorcycle styling and customization is subjective, so I don't really care if you don't like it. I love it like this. For me, it's just absolutely perfect looking like this, and for me, owning a stock bike is just not a thing I want to do. So this is what I like. It's just that simple. The bike sounds lovely. I have another motorcycle that has straight pipes, so I forget how good this bike sounds because it's not as loud as my straight pipe bike, but it still sounds really fucking good. It's low, it's throaty, it's nice sound. Now, there's not stock exhaust on this bike, so obviously that makes a difference. One thing I did not take into consideration, and maybe you should if you're looking into buying a Triumph in general, is that finding parts, especially for this Triumph America, is a fucking nightmare. It's near impossible, and the reason for that is because the Triumph America is discontinued. They don't make them anymore, and of course then when they stop making a motorcycle, they also stop making the parts, and there's not a big custom scene around these bikes, so there isn't that many aftermarket parts that you can get online, and that is also why most people keep the Triumph America stock. But that is just another reason why I decided to not keep it stock, because it would make it stick out a little bit more. People usually have them stock and that's what they're used to seeing. Then they see mine, which is absolutely not stock, and they're just like, this guy must be nuts. But that's what I love, that's what I like, that's what I do. If you're wondering how much money I put into this bike to modify it, I have no idea, because this bike I have not built for a customer or with the intention to sell, so I haven't counted all the parts. This is a bike that I built for me, for my use and for my daily use, so I didn't count the parts and how much money I put into it. But I don't know, I haven't put that much into it because I've done everything myself. The paint job, everything, I've done it myself, and most of the things like the ditch lights or the fog light or the deer light, whatever you want to call it, that's on this bike, that is just random parts that's not meant for these bikes, and the brackets I made myself. So some of it is self-fabricated, and when you do everything yourself, it helps with the cost of a custom job. The engine in this bike is lovely. You would think a small bike like this won't have that much power, but it definitely has a lot of power. I don't use it to its full capacity always, because I live in a major city. As you can see, I'm not in the major city right now, but I live in a major city, and riding around in a high cc motorcycle, in the city, you don't get the potential out of it at all. But like I said, I toured around Europe on it, and the engine did exactly what I wanted it to do. But I would have loved a little bit more power in it. But that's why I got myself another motorcycle that is for touring. So if you're alone and you want a light tourer and a commuter and something that will fit all those needs, a Triumph America is definitely the way to go. It's wonderful for it. It's beautiful, nice engine, solid engine, no fucking issues with the engine at all. It just runs, and it runs beautifully. It's also a rare motorcycle, at least here in Germany. I haven't seen a single other person with a Triumph America around in my 1 year of riding this bike, not a single one. So that also makes it a little bit of an eye catcher, because people don't really know what it is. It's got this massive front tire and a big back tire. It's just beefy, big and thick, and people they love the look of it. and they're surprised when they see that it's not a Harley, because they don't see them that often, and especially one that looks like mine just sticks out at any fucking meetup that you want to go to, or any ride out that you go to, or anything like that. This bike's just special. If you watched my first video on this motorcycle, the Triumph America review, it's the most popular video on my channel. You know that I had a speed wobble in my forks, which I have not fixed yet. Now this is not original to the Triumph America, so don't worry about that. And as long as I keep my hands on the handlebars, I don't feel the vibration at all. But I need a new stock bearing in this bike, but I just haven't gotten around to it because of COVID, and no money, blah 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 blah. If you didn't know, the Triumph America has a 5-speed gearbox, which means 5 gears. I wish there was one more gear in this bike, because I keep sitting in 5th and wanting to shift up. And after being on some Triumph forums and talking and reading to people who has the same bike, they have the same issue. So one solution for that is to put a bigger sprocket for your chain on the back. That will give you a little bit more power on the top end, but it's just a little bit annoying. There should have been one more gear, and then this bike would have been even better and faster and more comfortable to ride, and especially to tour. I just stopped up here by a pile of snow to talk about a thing. So commonly the 2011 Triumph America has an electric fuel injection, which is hidden into the carburetor bodies here. Mine has carburetors. It is a 2011 Triumph America, but it has the carburetor. So that's just another thing that makes this motorcycle a little bit more special and a little bit more different, even to the other Triumph Americas that exists. Here's the choke, and here is the idle speed screw. Turn that down. As you can hear, the bike idles lower. Turn it up. The bike idles higher.
So what else is it to say about this bike? It's not perfect, but I love it. If you liked this video, don't forget to leave a like, and if you want to take it one step further, there is a link in the description down below where you can buy me a beer to support me and this channel. If there is something you'd like to know about the 2011 Triumph America that I forgot to cover in this video, just leave a comment down below and I'll try my best to answer your questions. Don't forget to subscribe, and until next time, bye bye!